Welcome, CNG 124. As we get started with our new, I guess, the introduction to our material for this week. Week 9 that starts the 14th is kind of what we're looking at for this week. Um, if you didn't get a chance to look at that career stuff, make sure you do. I did see that internships for next summer at a few places closed the 15th. Looks like it was 2 days ago. So hopefully you guys are able to see that on Monday. Never forget to, if you missed it, apply for it and get that going. This week we look at um, really um, taking a peek at the Cisco 1941 router. Although it has an end of life of 20, I believe it's 2023. Um, Realize that once you learn one thing within Cisco, that it translates to all their devices. They're very good at uniformly structuring uh, their command line to be very intuitive, um, and then the devices are very very well set up too, as you can look at them. I believe I still remember the model that was taken over this. It was like 4220, 4221. That's the new router that's going to go, and I can dig through my emails and find that. But the new router, basically, it looks different. It's just the newer model. But once you get inside of it, it doesn't matter because it's going to be the same exact thing. So really look at your slides for this week. They're going to give you a lot of answers for this 1941 router. And when I mean the slides, go up to the, is it discussion? No. Go into the weekly discussion and look at the reading uh, router configuration. That's going to tell you, walk through that reading and you'll be able to identify all the parts of the router well. You can also Google and bring up a PDF white page and be able to identify this easy too, because once again the routers have been here forever. Subnetting 5, I believe we're still doing. Um, this one's even better. Subnetting 5, we take a little break from our regular subnetting and jump into this one. This requires us to do some work, so feel free to. Oh, I messed that up again. These are A, B, C, and D. Just make sure you circle one. These require you to do some subnetting in a little different fashion, but basically still test your subnetting knowledge. Once again, a different way to do it, but it's still the exact same thing that you have been doing. Here we jump into Lab 15. It's our first deep dive into Packet Tracer. Um, for Lab 15, and I believe 16 when we get into it. Assignments. Okay, maybe not. So Lab 15, highly important this week that you. Oops, clicked on the wrong one. That you walk through Lab 15. Do not run. Do not rush through it. Lab 15 is basically going to be your framework for every lab from here on out. So make sure that you are understanding each step of the lab. Highlight key parts in the lab. I believe this lab is like a 15-page lab. If you have me in the future for any other class, realize that 15-page is a small lab as we reach higher tiers in the course. Yeah, so page 3 of 15. Um, Make sure you are reading the lab. Do not skip over steps. Develop a way to either check mark which step you are on and figure out a way to like strike through if you've done it or not. When I was learning school, um, I would do the circle. I'm on that step, and then once I completed that step, I would draw a line through that circle, um, telling me that I completed that step. So if I had to come back, um, I would always know where I was at, what I had completed, and where I was at and had not completed. Very, very important as we run through this lab. And I don't know why it took out my numbers and letters, guys. I will look for another copy of this to upload. These should be letters and numbers in these symbols here. I don't know why they're missing. But 15-page lab, um, a lot of reading. Take it slow. Make sure you use Google Hangouts if you have questions there. Your fellow students working on this lab will help you work your way through it and be used as a resource. And I can tell you that anyone in 132 and 212 right now, if they're from the Larimer campus or online, they have taken the exact same course and exercise. So yeah, they'll be able to help you pretty darn quickly with this Lab 15. But like I said, it's our first deep dive into Packet Tracer, so you'll be able to have a very thorough knowledge. When you go into week 16, you start building your own PKT file. Um, so that's interesting. From there, you start to manipulate your own packet tracer files, but Lab 15 will always be your base. Remember that. It'll always be your go-to until you become masters of setting up your packet tracer network. That's about it. I'm gonna leave you guys that for this week. Um, if you have any questions, make sure to reach out in Google Hangouts. You can reach out in the discussion here. But I think even if you get input from the higher level students, you'll get a good idea of what's going on or how to do it, or maybe a trick from them that I don't know. Have a good week. Have a good start of the weekend. Talk to you soon.